Hey there, friends. I just wanted you to ponder a scripture with me for a few minutes today, if you'd be willing to. It comes in the walk of Moses with the people as they left Egypt. They've been out of Egypt about 4 months. And as they're out of Egypt, they've experienced God. They've experienced the presence of God on a daily basis, visible in the cloud and the fire. They've experienced God speaking audibly from the mountain with a powerful voice in the middle of thunder and lightning and smoke and fire. So like pretty dramatic experiences. And Aaron has experienced eating a meal in the presence of God with all the elders of Israel. They've had some pretty incredible things happen. And Moses has given the people the 10 Commandments, saying, "You shall have no other God before me." And that's where we're going to start today. So, wait. Moses has been on the mountain listening to God for 40 days. So there's where our scripture starts. So when the people saw that Moses had been gone a long time, they came to Aaron and said, "Make us a God that'll go before us. As for this Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what's become of him." So Aaron said, "Break off the earrings from your wives, your sons and daughters, those golden earrings, and bring them to me." The people did so. Aaron took them, and with an engraving tool, he molded a golden calf. And then the people said, "Here is your God, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." And Aaron, seeing the calf, built an altar in front of it and said to the people, "Tomorrow is a festival to the Lord." And the people the next day rose up early, sacrificed burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings, and then sat down to eat those offerings and rose up to indulge in pagan revelry or behavior they ought not to be doing. At that point on the mountain, God said to Moses, "Get up, go down the mountain. For the people you brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They've turned aside from the way that I gave them and have made a calf, a golden calf. They've sacrificed to it, they've worshipped it, and they've said, 'Here is your God, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt.' And God said to Moses, 'I see this people is a stiff-necked people. Now stand aside. My wrath will burn hot against them. I'll consume them from the earth and make of you a great nation.' Moses pleaded with the Lord and said, 'Lord, why does your anger burn hot against them? Why is your wrath against them, these people that you brought out of Egypt?' The Egyptians will say, 'You brought them out with evil intent in order to kill them in the mountains.' Lord, turn aside from your fierce anger and your wrath." That's where the story ends. Well, it doesn't end there. That's where we're ending it today. It's too long to go on. So in that picture, you have this scene with the people and Moses, and the people deciding that Moses has been gone too long. And they say this interesting language about him. "As this Moses fellow, who brought us up out of Egypt, we do not know what's become of him." They're asking Aaron to make them a God that'll go before them. And they speak of Moses. And do you learn anything about the people, about what they thought of Moses, by what they said? And what about Aaron? Aaron responds not by saying, "What? You want me to make a golden calf? No. Don't you know the rule? You can't do that." No, he doesn't respond that way. What does Aaron say? "Break off the earrings from your wives, your sons and daughters, your golden earrings, and bring them to me." And they bring them. And he makes a golden calf. It's incredible to me. I know, it's incredible to you. These people have experienced so much of God, the power of God, the might of God, the rule of God, the love of God, and yet are quick to say, "Make us a God." Do you learn anything about them? Do you learn anything about the fact that they want a God they can see? And then, on the mountain, Moses and God have this interchange. What do we learn about God? That God says, "Let my wrath burn hot against his people and consume them from the face of the earth, and I'll make of you a great nation." Do you learn anything about God? I know, you may say that God's, judgmental, mean-spirited, whatever, but might we wonder, what was God intending by saying this to Moses? Remember, he did not wipe them out. He could have done that, right? He didn't do that. So what we learn about God, that he says this to Moses, was God working to allow Moses to have some thought like he had of mercy towards the people? What was God training Moses in this moment? And do we learn anything that God did turn away from that wrath and did spare the people for the most part? These are questions that I've been pondering in my heart. And I wonder, the people quickly turned aside from the living God to ask that a God be made for them. And I wonder today, do we quickly turn aside from the living God that we know, that we've experienced, that we've heard, and ask for something that's tangible, that we can see, that we can touch? Do we put more faith in stuff that we can touch, that we can see, than we put faith in God? Are there evidences in the world today or in the life around us where we turn to things that make us feel more comfortable, make us feel more secure, that we can see, rather than putting trust, emphasis on the living God whom we can't see? I don't know, for me today, I know that that's been me too many times. I pray that you are encouraged today in recognizing maybe a place where you can say, hey, God, I'm going to let go of that thing so I can turn back to you. And maybe you'll see a place that you can say, God, I want to commit to you wholeheartedly this area of my life. If you're struggling with anything or if you need prayer, reach out. Be glad to be praying for you. And I am praying today that you discover the fullness, the life, the joy of following this living God, unseen and yet visible in this world. Grace and peace to you today. Thanks for listening in.